We need to create a culture. We need to make a cultural shift in our schools, and it'll make a huge difference. I had a school do this, and the next year, enrollment was up 30%, and they retained a lot more students than they did the previous year. Parents were talking about pulling their kids, and then they talked to other parents. After this, we did this at consult for their school. They talked to other parents about bringing their kids. So, anybody interested in any of this stuff? Would this be cool to see in your school? All right, so we're going to focus on building others up according to their needs that it may benefit those who listen. Now, you do have the handouts, but what is the trust? Don't look at your slide. See if you can tell me. If you looked, be honest, don't answer. What do you think the glue is in relationships? I just said it, didn't I? Trust. Yes! Yes, you're right. Good answer. Trust is the glue in relationships. Trust is the glue. My goodness. I even had coffee. I have no excuse. Trust is the glue. I have students say love, but do we marry somebody that we don't trust? Some people do. They call that enabling. But for the most part, hopefully in a healthy relationship, you're not supposed to get in a relationship so you can fix or help someone. Well, they need a lot of help. That's why I really love this person. No, that's a real bad start to a relationship, and it usually ends really bad as well. So trust is the glue in relationships. Now, everything we do, say it with me, builds trust or breaks trust. Say it again, builds trust or breaks trust. Now, for younger kids, 2nd grade and under, it's either helpful or hurtful. Say it with me, helpful or hurtful. One more time, helpful or hurtful. So, 2 different things we can say. For whenever we do something wrong, does that build or break? And we'll get back to that. So we're going to talk about that. So if everything we do builds trust or breaks trust, we can say build or break. Say it with me. Build or break. Somebody says, oh, you're such an idiot. What are we going to say? Build or break. No, we're not going to say break. If they call you an idiot, we are going to ask a question rather than tell them that they're wrong. Remember, we got to stop saying that they're wrong. All right, let's go back for a second. How many times have I told you to say that? Don't say that. Why do you keep saying that? When we do say that, by the way, we are coming across as perfect or self-righteous or basically, I've never done that before. That's what we're saying. Did you know that? And so if you wonder why kids won't come talk to you if you do that, that's why. Of course, whenever I do this assemblies, how many of you guys know that that's wrong to say you're stupid? And the 5-year-olds raise their hands. Some of the parents are in the back. And I'll say to the parents, how many of us are human? Anybody in here? Human? So we're human. So we all basically, being human means that we're not what? Perfect, which means we make mistakes. So then we need to stop doing this and saying, okay. All right? So build or break. Say it with me. Build or break. So the response would be break. If you break something, what do you need to do? Fix it. And here's the slide I just went over, helpful or hurtful. So if you are hurtful, if you hurt someone, what do you need to do? Help them. So we're just going to do the opposite. If I'm hurtful, I'm going to be helpful. If I'm helpful, I'm going to be hurtful. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. Oh.
Right now, that's one of their favorites.
Is monkey butt?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I tell the kids to say? If they call you monkey butt, thanks, I've been working on it. You could have more fun with it and say red or blue. So that's one of the things we also teach, and that's also the next hour, is funny things kids can say to roll with conflict and let it roll, maybe not take things too seriously. It's awesome. In fact, it's one of the most requested handouts when I do retreats for schools. So using I statements, I don't think you meant it, but I was frustrated. Get the person to say how they feel. Had a 5th grade mom of a 5th grade boy, Lake Highland Preparatory. It's a school here in Orlando. And she, we had a parent meeting at the beginning of the consult and a parent meeting at the end. And this mom said, at the end, she said, my son, 5th grade boy, is expressing how he feels. And not in an effeminate way. She realizes how important, women know how important it is for us to talk about and get out those things that are bothering us. So this is part of that process, is have the victim say how they feel. Now this is going to tie in again, a lot better as we get on into the topic. But let's talk about the conflict resolution plan. Basically, before you approach somebody, all we have to do is if somebody builds or breaks trust, they need to do this, what's called APC. Everybody say APC? APC. And A stands for what? Apologize. Now, instead of saying sorry, we're going to say, I what? I apologize. Now, here's the reason why. The word sorry is lo siento in Spanish. And it actually means I feel. I feel. Now, let us take that and use the tone in which we force kids to say they're sorry. Right? Sorry. How about this? I feel for you. Sounds a little ridiculous, doesn't it? Now, are we pretty assured? Does the victim walk away feeling like this will never happen again? Thank you. Is that how they feel? No, absolutely not. So we have a problem. We continue to let these people get hurt by a bully. They're just told to apologize. We make the victim forgive them because they're supposed to. And then we create what's called a victim. Now, what I try to tell the victim is, well, let me ask you, to forgive someone, is it more beneficial to receive forgiveness or to give it? Raise your hand if you think it's more beneficial to receive forgiveness. Raise your hand if you think it's more beneficial to give forgiveness. You are correct. You will live 8 years longer if you let it go. Just let it go. But my mother, let it go. My dad really messed me up. Let it go. Talk about it, get it out, move on, or it will affect you the rest of your life. Forgiveness, you live 8 years longer. So then the victim understands, look, I can forgive. Now, there's a second point here. Some people think when you forgive, you must forget and act like it never happened. That's not true. You do not bring it up again, but you don't have to trust that person. That's the problem. They think if I have to forget about it, then I have to let this person get close to me again. That's wrong. And that's where we start to create and breed victims in our schools, because they just feel like, well, I have to forgive, and he's just messed up and he just needs help. And then we start enabling that to happen. So forgiveness adds 8 years, but you don't have to trust. We do have a trust problem, and we need to do something about that, and that's what this is about. So we're going to have them say that they apologize, which means I was wrong. I apologize. I was wrong for hitting you or calling you a bad name. I will try not to do it again. Will you forgive me? 3 tough things to say. We don't want to break the will, but we want to get the rough edges off of that will. Say what they did. They need to say what they did. Not just sorry or I apologize. What did you do? What did you actually do? And if they're really mad, how many of us are temporarily insane when we're angry? So give them some time to cool down. You know what? You're trying to apologize, but you're really upset. I can see that. Why don't we just take a few minutes to calm down? Let's just take a few minutes. And whenever we do resolve this and work this out, you can resume your recess, or you can resume having lunch with everyone. You can resume whatever privileges that they would have there at your school. Then we want the victim to say how they felt. I was hurt, I was mad, I was angry, but I forgive you. Are you with me? Now, the handouts for this are in the Building Positive Peer Pressure workbook, and I'll try to show you some of that here in just a moment. The next step is plan. A stands for? P stands for? Plan is to put back trust. Say it with me. Put back trust. So we want to put that trust back. So very simply, if you say something mean, you say 4 nice things. But we're not going to say 4 compliments. Nice shirt, nice necklace, nice hair, nice eyes. That's all superficial. We're going to get them in the mode of saying things that build people up, so it may benefit those who listen. So character traits. We're going to focus on character. You're a good friend, you're kind, caring, helpful,